Hello, hello, everybody. So I just wanted to come on here and make a just a quick update. I know it's the past couple of weeks, any of y'all that have been wanting to see me talk about some new topics, it's been pretty busy. So I haven't been able to get on, but I do have some plans. I do have some things that are going to be coming up here in the future. I've got something planned for Good Friday or around that time. Um, But I just want to make a quick update because, again, being so busy, sometimes when it comes down to Friday evening, either we've had some things come up, whether it's been working with some new clients specifically that have certain needs, or it's just being so tired. You know, uh, during the day, I do work full time doing the natural health practice, so there's a lot of energy involved in that. There's a lot of things that take my time, but I'm going to be looking for a new time. One, hopefully in the day. It'd be great if I could get one in the morning when my brain is definitely working. But we're going to be trying to find a time that's going to be suitable for a lot of folks. I know too, a lot of people Friday evening maybe have something better to do. But I'd say me included, a lot of times I just need to rest. I did want to bring up a couple of things though. And maybe as a teaser for something that we'll start talking about more often. But this week I had a number of conversations that revolved around people being on multiple, and I mean multiple medications, dealing with seemingly isolated health problems. And it really made me pause to think that a lot of folks just don't understand that symptoms are not isolated. One of the great examples is I can't really show it to you here. Maybe I can show you some pictures later. But I've been doing a lot of deep detoxing heavy metals and some particularly nasty parasites. And they've been coming up on my hands. And so my hands look like I got some nasty psoriasis or eczema. And that happens a lot with folks, myself included. And the reason why I even bring that up is because this is not a skin issue. It's not a local hand issue. It's a sign of something that is deeper. And in this case, with our fingers, certain fingers are connected to the intestines, other fingers are connected to other organs. So when we have an issue that arises within an organ or an organ system, sometimes we'll see that pop up locally on the body in the skin. In this case, we're looking at certain fingers. So when people say, "Okay, I've got a headache," they immediately think to their head. No, that's not always the case. In fact, I would say most times it's not the case. You got leg pain, you got knee pain. Sometimes it could be something local, but other times it could be something that is coming from another organ. And while I'm not going to get deep into that one tonight, it did just make me think, and I at least wanted to bring something to y'all, especially since I haven't been around for the past couple of weeks, and we're going to end this really short tonight. But it is something that I want y'all to think about. When you do have symptoms, or when you're told that you have a disease affecting a certain area of your body, while you may see that symptom appear locally, a lot of times it is systemic. It is a root of something much deeper. And a lot of times your symptoms, you may have multiple symptoms that affect different areas of the body. Maybe you got headaches, maybe you got shortness of breath, maybe you've got knee pain. And all those things can be a sign of some stealth infection or some type of toxicity. They could all be signs of an organ and an internal organ that is messing up and it's appearing as a skin problem. So, and actually one of the biggest ones is you have mental emotional issues. Those have a very deep, intricate connection with a physical problem, and vice versa. You may have emotional problems, you may have trauma, you may have PTSD, something like that, that can manifest as severe physical debilitations as well. So that is something that I deal with constantly with people, and we help restore those organs, those body systems that lead to these symptoms, which make the symptoms reduce or eventually just go away. So I want you just to keep that in mind whenever you're dealing with whatever issue it is, whether it's mental, emotional, or whether it's something that feels local, like it's always in your head, it's always in your hand. Just think there's a much deeper root that's going on. A lot of times we can find out what that is, and I can help you put together the protocols in order to start, cleaning that up and restoring that function. Um, so, just in closing, we'll say um, I'm going to be looking at finding a better time for us to stream when I have, the energy to put all into this and not being worn out from a week's worth of work. And also, maybe we can find some more things to do if I can. Uh, streaming more than once a week, that'd be fun to do. We just got to find some way to make it worthwhile um, for y'all, and find something that's not going to make me sound like I'm constantly repeating myself. There's definitely a lot of information that's out there. There's a lot of things we could talk about. And I see we got a couple people, here in the chat. It's good to hear from y'all. Um, some of y'all, I'd actually like to. I need to talk to a couple of y'all in private here, but yeah, I just have a lot of thoughts about people being stuck in this one way of thinking that it's always got to be low. All the problems are low. It A lot of times it's not. When people are sick or just not feeling their best and not functioning, it's not low. When people think that they have a psychological problem, it's not just a psychological problem, it's a physical problem too. So we've got a lot of education to catch up on. We got a lot of learning to do. That's good. I'm glad in the chat. I'm glad, Murphy, that seeing that you're having more energy now. It does take time, and sometimes when it comes to healing, it's not going to feel the easiest. It can hurt. It's not always going to be linear. The progression is upward over time, but if you look at it, it's kind of going to be like a stock market where you have dips certain days. Because a lot of the tools that we use, they're very effective at clearing out the junk that doesn't need to be there, as well as healing the organs and body systems. And when you get all that crud out, it doesn't always feel good. In fact, I would say that's probably where I'm at right now. I feel so worn out from dumping a whole bunch of heavy metals and some deep parasites. Um, it hurts. It doesn't feel that great. But overall, you feel better. I feel better doing it. And that can also scare some people at times because they expect that they should only be feeling good, and sometimes they're going to feel worse. But you have to trust the process. So, with that being said, you guys have a good evening. Let me know if y'all have any particular times that y'all would be interested. I know a number of people that listen here also do their streams as well and say sometimes they can't see, they can't watch what we do here just because they got other commitments. So if you do have some ideas, you know how to reach out to me. You can always email us. I'll leave a couple of things here too. We've got some new supplements in our online store, particularly for bone health. Bone health is osteoporosis. That's one thing that we do a lot of. We do a lot of work with. So I'm happy to have some of that there. We also have some new testing bundles that have been put together, specifically testing for forever chemicals, which is always really nice. So go on over to our store, beyonddetox.com. One final thing too that we've added, I know I've showed it to y'all before in the past, but it really is a good resource, especially if you're looking for more information, especially outside of our live streams. go to beyonddetox.com and look under our articles. So /articles, you can find it on the top menu under education. A lot of the stuff that we talk about on these live streams is also cataloged there, along with the references if you want to really see where the literature is for that, and also recommendations too that are useful, that are targeted for those topics. So whether it's oral health, um, whether it's looking at certain poisons, whether it's looking at just more about some of the kind of DIY protocols that we do for folks that, maybe already have somebody they're working at, or maybe they're skeptical and they just want to try something from us, 1 month or 4 months, and then move from there. We've got all that information there. I feel really happy about that. It's good to have that information out, and it also saves me from having to repeat myself constantly. Because that's where I find myself all the time, is having the same conversation with everybody. So if I sound like a broken record, it's because a lot of times I'm just having to reinforce the fundamentals of health, because we as a society, we're not taught that. And when you don't have that information, you don't know who to turn to when your health takes a turn for the worse. All it takes is one trip to the ER from some event, and you're on a bunch of medications, and you may not get off of them. It's a slippery slope into that system. It's very easy to get into that system. It's hard to get out of it. But there is hope. So go check out our website, Beyond Detox. Go check out the online store. Get yourself something from there. Hydroxygen is always a great place to start if you're not really sure where to start. And you can always book a 20-minute consult, talk to me, and then you can learn more about what we do, see if we're a good fit for you. So with all that being said, expect to see me on next week. I have a couple of guests that are lined up. Hopefully we're going to have ourselves a nice panel for Resurrection Sunday, talking about Christ in medicine, bringing back God into medicine, especially in natural medicine. There's a lot of paganism and a lot of occultic stuff in there that you gotta be careful about this stuff. It's not just physical parasites you got to worry about. It's also energetic and spiritual parasites that you don't want to be catching. So that being said, you guys have a good evening. I'm gonna go take a rest and get prepared for this next week, and hopefully we'll have a awesome show to bring you. I will keep y'all updated so that y'all don't miss it. Okay.